In this video, we will cover the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane, also called the rectangular coordinate system, is based on a two-dimensional plane. It's divided into 4 sections named quadrants. Starting at the top right and moving counterclockwise, the name of the quadrants are Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3, and Quadrant 4. The horizontal line is called the x-axis, and the vertical line, this one right here, is called the y-axis. The center is named the origin, and it's located at 0, 0. Now, moving to the right of the origin, we have positive numbers, positive x values. Moving to the left of the origin, you have negative x values. Moving up from the origin, you have positive y values. And moving down from the origin, you have negative y values. Make sure that you keep this information in mind as we move to the next section. Let's now try plotting points. Now, points plotted on the coordinate plane are also called an order pair. Now, an order pair has an x value and a y value. The x value is going to determine how far you move left or right, depending if it's positive or negative, and the y value tells us how much to move up or down. So let's try example 1 and plot the order pairs that we are given. The first point is 3, 5. So the x coordinate is a positive 3. So we move 3 to the right from the origin. So that is 1, 2, and 3. Now, we don't plot the point there. We still need to look at the y value. The y coordinate is positive 5, so we're going to move 5 up. Now, we don't go back to the origin. We move 5 from where we left off. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where we're going to plot our point. This is a location for A. This is 3, 5. Let's try another one. The next example reads -2, -4. So then our x coordinate is -2, so we're going to move 2 to the left. We go back to the origin this time. For every new point, we go back to the origin. So -2 is 2 to the left from the origin. And then the y value is -4, so we're going to go 4 down from where we left off. And that's where we plot our point. Okay, let's try the next one then. The next one reads 3, -5. So we're going to move 3 to the right, and the -5 will be 5 down. And that is where we plot our point. And we move on to the next one. Let me label back the one that we did before. B was -2, -4. Let's do that. This was -2, -4. And C, the one we just finished, was 3, -5. Let's move on to D. D has -2, so that's 2 left. And then +4. That means that we're going to go 4 up. And that is where we plot the point. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's look at E now. E has 0 on the x coordinate. That means that we're not going to move left or right. We're going to stay at the origin for now. So let's just stay at the origin. This is not our point. I'm just doing the x coordinates. We're going to stay at the origin because it has 0 on the x coordinates. but then it has 5 on the y-coordinate. That means that I'm going to move 5 from that point where I left off, which was the origin, because we didn't move left or right. And that's where I plot the point, right on the y-axis, because I did not move left or right. Okay, let's try another one. So the last one, let me label this one before I forget. The last one has -5, 0. Okay, so we're going to move -5 on the x-coordinate. That means that it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left because it's negative. And then on the y-coordinate, they're telling me to move 0. So that means that I'm not going to move anything up or down. So then our point will end up being plotted right there where we ended up with the x value, because we were given a 0 for the y value. So then this will be -5 and 0. Now you have to be very careful, especially on these last two, the ones that go on the x-axis and the y-axis. Sometimes people tend to make the mistake of plotting them in the wrong axis. What you can do is, whenever you're given a 0, for example, with E or with F, label them, label your points. This was an x value and a y value, and this is an x value and a y value. Because the one that is giving you a number is a y value, that's going to be on the y-axis. And the second one is an x value, so that means that your point is going to be on the x-axis. Let's move on to the next section. Let's see if we can go backwards and this time find the coordinates of a point. Now, example 2 is giving us the plotted points and is asking us to find the coordinates of each point and on which quadrant or axis they are located. Remember, the coordinates of a point are the x and y values representing the distance they are from the origin. So let's try point A. Now, for me to get to point A from the origin is at the center, remember? So we will have to move 1, 2, 3 to the right, so x value is 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 up, so the y value will be then 4. That means that the coordinates of point A are 3, 4. We'll come back and do the quadrants and the x and y axis later. Let's try B then. B, if you notice, is located at the center. So because B is located at the center, it hasn't moved to the left or to the right or up or down from the origin. That means that B is located at 0, 0 because it's not moving from the origin. Let's try C now. Now for me to get to C, I'm not going to move left or right. I'm only going to move down. So if I am moving down here, let's do that. I will move 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So that means that y will be -4. And remember, because we did not move left or right, the x value will be 0. So the point will be 0, -4. Let's try another one here. Let's go for D. Now D, remember, you go back to the origin and you start counting how much do you have to move to get to D. X is first. So for D, I will have to move 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. So then my X value is -4. And then from there, I will have to move 1, 2 down. So then my Y value will be -2, making the order pair for point D -4, -2. We place the X value first and then the Y value. Let's go for the last one. The last one is point E here. Now point E, I go back to the origin and I count. How much do I have to move from the origin to get there? So for E, I'm going to have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to the right on the x-axis, so x will be 7, and then I will have to move 1, 2 down from where I was. So then y will be -2 because I went down. So then the ordered pair will be 7 for the x and -2 for the y value. Now, again, if you are having trouble with these, especially the ones that are on the axis, remember, if you are on the x-axis, the value is only on the x-coordinate. And if you are on the y-axis, like C is, right? C is on the y-axis, so then the only number that you will have is on the y-coordinate, and the other one will be 0. Now don't forget, they were asking us to find what quadrant or what axis they were located on. Then let's label them. This was quadrant 1, quadrant 2, counterclockwise, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. This is your x-axis. The horizontal is the x-axis, and the vertical, the one moving up and down, is the y-axis. So let's go find them. A is in quadrant 1. B is in the center, so that one is the origin. C is on the y-axis. D is down here. Here's D in quadrant 3. And then E is down here on the bottom right. So E is in quadrant 4. And we have found the coordinates and the quadrants for each point.
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.